What's happening, MPN? Oh, gotta turn that down. Do I sound okay? Wow, there's that much of delay. All right, how's that? Is that better? All right, well, I need to play this. Hello, MPN. Hello, Rich. How you doing? So, camera, I assume the camera looks better because it looks a lot better from what I'm seeing. I am going to go to the bench here very shortly. I have to work on my Chapman baritone. So, hey, Brian. So I have to go take the back off of it, and if it's not shielded, I want to shield it and check some of the wiring on it. Hey, Martian. Thank you. Yeah, let me play that again. It's only 30 seconds, and Mike Wood made this for me. So here we go. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. So I thought he did a great job on that. Um, it's my music, my guitars, me playing the green Charvel at one point in time. So I have, so I can see the chat here. I don't have it over here yet. Bear with me for a minute, because again, remember, I am learning all this as we go. So hold on, because for all these years, I never ran any of the shows at all. YouTube, hold on. Then we'll go from there. So I got a big screen here, big screen here. Why is that not showing? Hold on. I'll just go to my sub. Okay, there it is. Let me do the pop out chat. So I can see better than looking down here at the phone. Yeah, this computer over here is an old computer. So, hi, Guitar Man. Pop out chat. All right. I hope it works. So yeah, today I'm going to work on the Chapman for a little bit. Um, it's a baritone, the M1. See, I don't know, one of the first ones he came out with, the baritone, and so I'm going to go into the back of it. I got to check and make sure it's shielded. If it's not, I'm going to shield it. Because quite frankly, I don't remember anymore which ones are shielded and which ones aren't. Rich, look how good that looks. And you notice it's more purple than pink. Thank you, Rich. So, thank you for the intro. Yeah, Mr. Mike, I made him a deal. I had a Van Halen official crew shirt from 2015 that came from Alex Van Halen's auction. And Mike is a big, big, big Van Halen fan. And I made him a deal. You make me an intro, and I'll give you the shirt. So that's how I got it. He's got the shirt, and it's, I guess, on display at his house or in a case or something. What's the bottom? The white one? That is a, hold on, let me. Okay, the white one is a 1988 Randall that I custom ordered. And it's actually the very bottom. It's actually the 80-watt head size, but it's 150 watts in it. The one above it, the red one, is a, believe it or not, a B52 AT100. That is basically a poor man's rectifier. You have, it's either got 11 or 12, 11 or 13 tubes in it. I don't quite remember. So you can have it, there's a switch on the back. You can have it all tube, half tubes, half solid state, or flip the switch a third time and you have all solid state. You have 2 gain channels, 1 clean. And I know guys who, I know one in particular who had a 1973 Marshall that he loved. And he actually sold it and kept his B52 because of what he could do with it. Now that one I had redone. It has all brand new tongue saw tubes in it, and then he hardwired the entire amp for me. So I actually have roughly $900 in that. But you can buy the head. Matter of fact, hold on. Matter of fact, I think there's one on Reverb that I may have saved, and it's only 300 and some bucks. Let me check here. Or maybe it wasn't Reverb, I saw it. Oh well, here's the head and cabinet. Here's one here. They want 800 for everything. The cabinets are made great, but the speakers are terrible. So I'm upgrading that full stack with vintage 30s. Man, I thought, where did I see that at? Or did it sell already? It may have sold. Oh no, here it is. All brand new tubes. They want $389. the sounds you can get out of these things are amazing, especially if you upgrade the tubes and put it on a good cabinet. Actually, I have two of them. I have that red one and I have a black one just like this that my son-in-law, here's another example. My son-in-law's in oh, wait a minute, sorry. My son, I shouldn't put the phone. My son-in-law is in a band that is they're thrash, the kind that you can't understand what he's saying when he's singing. And he had a Marshall, and the tubes or something went bad in it. He would play it for about 10 minutes, and it would lose all volume. So he said, can I borrow one of your amp heads? Well, no one takes the Ingles, nobody. So he's like, well, can I borrow one of the B-52s? And he took the one that was stock. That was right around 4 years ago. He's been using it ever since and recording with it. Never had his Marshall fixed. He was supposed to borrow that until he got the Marshall fixed and then give it back to me. Hey, Lewis. Ooh, special event. That's good. And then you have the dual rectifier, a Invader 150, and a Powerball 2. I also have a Savage 120. I don't have it here, but I have one. And then, let's see, TV XXL, some crates, a crate Blue Voodoo, one crate that's solid state that is 350 watts for it. It's kind of weird to look at because the grate on the front of it's kind of like gives you a headache. And let's see, using Kettner, Switchblade 100 or 120. I don't know what all. Blue Mox, hello. So yeah, but all those are like my favorites. The white Randall. I got that at Canton Music Center, and I went, and it was funny because I went in there with the No Rest for the Wicked CD, and I slid it across the table to the manager who I knew. I'm like, hey, plug this in, and he was listening to it. I said, I want that sound. And he started laughing. He goes, well, he's probably playing through a $50,000 rack. I said, yeah, but what can you do here? So he's like, well, I can kind of custom order a Randall for you. So it made a little bit different. It does pick up harmonics a lot better, especially pinch harmonics. And it's got a real deep tone to it. And he's like, well, we'll have it put in an 80 watt head, so it's a little smaller to carry. And I've had it since 88. And the cabinet, I have the top cabinet for it right here, over here. But my favorite cabinet of all time is right there. Mesa oversized rectifiers, 8 vintage 30s. And if I use either one of those two Ingles, I literally can't turn it up just barely to 2, and it's just got everything shaking. So let's see, Guitar Man, you gave your son 2 JCM 900 half cabs? Cool. Yeah, they are. They really are. And the original crates that were made in St. Louis were I don't know, they had a different sound to them. I remember going to the mall here, and he Well, I was home, and the guy that ran the store called me and goes, "Hey, I got a new crate out here you got to see." So I went out there, and that's right when they first got the full stacks. And I said, "Can I take it out back?" So we went out their back door of the mall, and they were in the corner. So it was like it was kind of closed in because they had the trash dumpster and everything. So you had to pull in and pull over. So we took it out the back door, and I cranked it up, and I walked out the store with it that night. That was when they were in St. Louis. So, but Randall's, yeah, I always did like Randall's. I mean, look what Dimebag did. You know, they can be noisy, so you either have to work the volume knob really quick, or put a nice noise gate on it. I used to have the Boss noise suppressor back in the 80s. Now I have the Disseminator 2. So it, works out pretty good. So, any questions and or comments? Hey, Mr. Mick. Cool. Oh, I do full screen here. Like I said, I'm still learning all this stuff. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I noticed you could see the back a lot more clear, which is kind of neat. Because you could tell what was back there before, but it was never really clear. It was kind of fuzzy. So, and you notice I have the logo up here now. So, Ampeg. Stolen at a show, man. I had my Lava Crackle Jackson 3DR. We were playing that night. I had it on stage on a stand, and right next to it, my competition yellow 1987 ESP M1 Custom, which between the two, the M1 Custom was actually worth, a lot more. We came back from break, and I grabbed the ESP and I looked, and then the 3DR Lava Crackle was gone. So somebody took it, and someday, I can't afford the M1 crack or the M1 Grand. Or, dang it, M1 Grand, the M1 Custom ESP now, not the LTD version. But if you get the actual ESP, you're looking at, I've seen them anywhere from $4,000 up to $7,000. So, and in 33 years, I've only seen one yellow one for sale. Most of them are the blue or like an off-white. And I think I've seen a red one a couple times, but only one yellow one in 33 years. Ampeg. I had an Ampeg combo one time for practice. I don't remember what it was. That was probably 87. And I also had a Mesa Boogie. Wow, can't think of that the number of that either. It was the wood grain finish with the 5-band EQ on it. Wish I still had that too. So, yeah, I went with the 4K here. The camera it used to be here is now on the bench. And then I added a third cam. Get to see. There you go. That's the 59 Les Paul Jr., ESP, ESP, ESP J Frog, Sandoval, and the red Strat back there. Then down here is Firefly, Tees, CIV or LIV or something like that. Ortiz, West Creek. So, yeah, I put this up just to see how that would work. And then if you go to the bench, you have the old cam, which is right there. I have to work on the lighting over there so it doesn't reflect off the bench so bad, or off the good, whatever I'm working on. Is the eMeet EMEET 4K Ultra right here. So there you go. It is right now. It's on sale, Mr. Mick, for $109 on Amazon. And the one that I had before that's on the bench is on sale for $59. It says 4K, but it really doesn't go to 4K. This one is the 4K Ultra. Hi, babe. My German Shepherd come down. And then, hi, Peggy. And then that one up there, which is this one, is the Anchor Work. I'll tell you which one it is in a minute. Anchor Work Power Conference C200. That one right there. So the more light you have, the better that one works. And you can see right that, well, it doesn't really define it, but that says Jackson. And then there's a red one right here. It says Charvel. Yeah, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, right here. Oh, wait a minute. Wrong camera. Hold on. Right there. So works out pretty good. And I thought, I would go with it before I went into something else, a more expensive camera. I thought, well, I'll give it a try and see what it looks like. But I'm very impressed. Like I said, you could never, before you could see where you can actually read the Engel sign now. Before you could just it was kind of blurry. And definitely the crackle guitars on the wall didn't look that defined either. So this light here, this is, I have probably a 9x12 rectangle light that I can change 4 different colors and then 4 or 5 different power levels. It stands on a tripod, so it's actually up above the monitors, behind everything. So, rack Ron. So, any other questions? So, with that, let me switch over to the other camera, and I'll get started on the Chapman baritone. You hear that? Oh, she's pounding the paint can. Okay, technical difficulties here. For some reason, the other microphone I have on the other side by the. Wait, let me turn this down. Again, bear with me. But for some reason, the other microphone on the other side decided it's not going to work right now. Well, that's going to suck. So now, well, I'll tell you what. I'll just have to bring the guitar over here and work on it here at the bench or at the table. So hold on. Bear with me, please. So that does suck. It's down. I can go down that low, and maybe there's like 8 levels. Dang it. I can't believe it didn't work. Well, I mean, I can believe it. So, this is my Chapman baritone. I know it looks purple, but it's more blue than anything. And it's kind of muddy sounding, but it's got the original Chapman pickups in it. So, this. Okay. Get a little closer to that and crank it up a little bit. How's that? Is that any better? So my song about H.H. Holmes, you hear this guitar, you'll hear that's what you're hearing. So, but the pickups, maybe you guys know. I don't know because I've never messed with the baritone before. I would assume baritone pickups are different than your regular guitar pickups because of the bassy end. That would make sense. So let me take this cover off. I thought I put a pure tone in here, but I don't think I may be mistaken on that one. Plus, I don't know how well the Chapman pickups are. I mean, this is the only one I've ever had. The only Chapman and the only baritone that I ever had. So, me find there's nothing bad about working right here. Okay. No, I did not shield inside there. Little cavity. A lot of stuff crammed into a little cavity. But I should. Let me get the meter and see what these put out. Hold on. Don't fall. So if you guys don't know, take a cheap meter, take the prongs off, solder a jack into it, and you just plug and go. Tells you right there what you got. No, there's no pure tone in there. Let me see what we're putting out here. Bridge pickup. I'll show you. 1529. Both together. Neck 1145. So pretty decent output, but they just kind of sound muddy. I will have to look and see what they have for baritone pickups. But I do need to shield this. But I can't do that here and still talk with you guys. So, I'll have to do that later tonight. I'm supposed to be on Laz's show, I think at 10 o'clock Eastern time. And we're going to talk about the giveaway guitar. And my buddy, who I am going to wire that new funky switch up with, has some big jobs this week on guitars. And I sent Laz a screenshot of the message. So he told me it's going to have to be next week. And I will film some of it. Internet inside the place is terrible. So I will film some of it and show it on here, because that 6-way switch got the big disc on the back of it, and I think there's either 24 or 28 different points you can solder to on it. So that combination with 2 push-pull pots, that's a lot of different sounds that guitar is going to have. That's going to be kind of neat, actually. But like I did when I put the neck pickup in Michael B's Kramer Night Swan, because you know they only come with 2 humbuckers, bridge and middle, nothing in the neck. So I put a single coil in the neck of that, and I had to add a second switch. So what I did then, after I got it all wired up, I actually drew out what configurations did what. Then I printed it out and then sent it to him when I sent the guitar back to him, which saved a lot of time, because you could look at it and see what you got to do. But he has since then changed the middle. Well, now it would be the middle pickup. He changed that. I think he put a Gibson pickup in it. So this one I'm going to have to do the same thing with. I'm going to have to write out. I mean, you think about it, because you're going to have switch one way, then you get, oh, this one's not push pull. So you're going to have 2 push pulls. So that's one. If they're both up, leave that there. that one down, that's another way. Pull the second one up, that's a third way. And then you got 5 other places to do that with. So you can have both pots up, both pushed down, one or the other up, while the switch is still in one position. So you got what? 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 different combinations right there. Then you can still flip the switch one place. You get 4 more. Yeah. That's what, 24 different combinations. So you are going to need a manual with that. I can go up. All right, how's that? Is that any better? Like I said, I'm just learning all this stuff, so bear with me. And I do appreciate the input. Thank you very much. Because I did find out after all those years with Johnny and Laz, what we hear in the headphones is different from what you guys hear. So what will sound good to me may sound like crap to you guys. So, and I don't want that to happen. I'm doing my best to get this as professional as can be for you guys. So, since the other mic decided not to work, that kind of changes the plans for tonight. It wasn't going to be no 3-hour one because, you know, in an hour and 45 minutes, I'll be on Laz's show. So, so let's turn this into a hangout, more or less. And any questions you guys want to know? Oh, you're running into okay. Hey, Kush man, what's happening? Frank, Cheryl, Mr. Mick, Blue, Billy Ray. There you are. I know Bay Area Rich was in here earlier. MPN was here. Oh, there we go. 2 different. Got a mouse for this one, a mouse for this one. I always grab the wrong one. So I'm a very newbie at running anything like this. Rackron. Let's see. Brian. Guitar Man. I think I got everybody. So I hope it works that way. I don't mean to look anybody over, so I apologize. But yeah, I'm going with the, you know, when you get into 4K cameras, there is so many different price levels. And I didn't want to spend $1,000 on a camera to find out that it's, you know, not the right one. So since I had a good experience with the eMeet 600, which is on the bench right now, all this time, I thought, well, I'll go up one more level to their 4K Ultra, and it's on sale for $109. So I figure if it didn't work, I'm not out a lot, and it seems to be working pretty. Like I said, the background looks better than it ever did. So there you go. So if you want to get into 4K and not a lot of money, there you go. Thank you, Blue. So let's just, because I can't, the microphone over there decide to die. It's the same kind as this one. Let's just make this a hangout. So any questions and or concerns, you know what? Tell you what, hold on, let's do this. Do that again. You never seen the crack with the purple in that? Yeah, it. Thank God it's more purple than it is pink. Oh, I keep getting messages for the last 2.5 weeks. I've been getting messages like crazy, and also, um, I have a bunch of other guitar YouTube channels now reaching out to me that either want me to come on their show or they want to come on here. So I thank every one of you guys who's sharing and promoting. Um, the more people I get to help with the donated parts from you guys, the happier that makes me. Keeps the gift of music going on to people who maybe couldn't afford it or couldn't afford to get a guitar or get one fixed. So you're all part of that. And I was telling, I don't know if I should say, I was telling someone today because he's going to donate parts, and I email back and forth, and I told him, I said, we never know who these people are who end up getting a guitar. I fix one up, give it to them, or they have one, we fix it up and give it back to them so they learn to play. I mean, why anybody who's ever tried to learn to play guitar on a guitar that's unplayable, then you lose interest and you don't want to, you give up playing altogether. So if the guitar's set up right, there you go. All you got to do is learn it. But I was telling him that with the donated parts, because I keep track of who sent what. And then when I use that part or parts from whoever it may be, it's like, hey, when I give this guitar back to these people or give the guitar to them, do you want me to say this was made possible by, John Smith? Some of them said, yeah, go ahead, let them know. And a lot of them say, nah, just anonymous. But the reason why I do that is because, and I'm hoping that maybe 15 years down the road or 20 years down the road, maybe we, and I mean me and whoever parts I used, might made it possible for the next Randy Rhoads, the next Dimebag, the next Eddie Van Halen, the next Jimi Hendrix, or the next Chet Atkins. And they can say, hey, when I was with, and usually it's a single parent, a mother and a son, hey, when we couldn't afford anything, this guy and whoever, name, Ron and Bill and blank, got a guitar to me, and that's why I'm here. That would be cool. Not just to pat us on the shoulder, but look, for example, look what Eddie has done in his life, how many people he inspired. Same way with Randy, with all of them, Hendrix, Dimebag, Chet Atkins, Roy Clark. So that's just one person we're helping who can make it grow. And that's what I'm hoping for. What is the tuning on the baritone guitar? To be honest with you, I don't even know right now. Hold on. I'll tell you here in a minute. One thing I have against Rob Chapman guitars is I noticed that all the headstocks are like this, kind of like an upside down telly, a little bit modification. The only place you can really fit the clip-on tuners right there, I always like to put them on the end, and there's not that much room. So you are looking at A sharp. If you want to hear what it sounds like, I'll play just the beginning of it, but here's that guitar in that tuning recorded. And actually, I keep it going through pretty much the whole song. It just real low fades out. But it is in there. It's just in the back. So that's A sharp. So there you go. Because I've messed with that since then, and I didn't know if I changed the tuning or not on it. That was kind of like one of the Eddie things. I grabbed the guitar, started playing it, wrote that, put it with it. Nice sounding. Thank you. Well, you know what? Since I can't do the bench, because of the microphone, those of you who weren't here before, that's, well, nothing on it right now for you. I'll find the camera. I'll show you the bench area, which a lot of people, I've showed photos before of it, but that's some of it right there. Hold on. That's all full of tools in that box. Over to behind the body of the guitar on that shelf, that's full of Floyd Rose parts. And in front of the neck in the cabinet right there, that little wall mount thing, that is a bunch of littler parts. But so I do. Wait a minute. I had, also the paint booth that I got now for my paint jobs is right here. It is out in the garage. I got to finish the garage up and put it together, so I'm hoping to have that done realistically by the end of April. And that'd be about the time I could start painting anyhow. So, but I had more of the bench somewhere. I'll do it later. But anyhow, since I can't do the bench because the microphone decided to quit working, since there are a bunch of new people here, and I do appreciate that, thank you. Oh yeah, Blue, yeah, it is. And the fan on that, the exhaust fan for that, be on the roof, and it's literally, I'm not kidding you, it's that round, 220 volt wiring, and there's also 220 volt. I don't know how many LEDs are in this thing. So the fan can either be put right above the filters, which is where I'm going to put it, then light right above you. Plus I have those hexagon light things you put in the garages. I have them on the ceiling. I had some left over. So I'm going to put those along the two walls. And what it is, it's 4 feet across, 8 foot high, and the two walls are 5 foot in depth. So plenty of room. I put the table in there and the guitar, and because I have the StewMac painting system, the mount, so the guitar screws on by the neck pocket, and I can spin the guitar this way and this way. So you get every bit of the guitar, and that's plenty big enough in that booth for that. So that'll be nice. I got the spray guns because I was always worried about overspray before, and so now this will eliminate all that. So, for those of you who are new, and I do appreciate that, and thank you for all the subs over the last couple weeks. Great. Like I said, we're going to grow together, more or less, and I am idiot level at running these things. But I do plan on having, I'm going to make guitar from scratch on the show. Different, obviously not all in one show. It'd have to be a 48-hour straight show, but, and I'm going to do refret jobs, not just 1 or 2 frets, the whole frets, rewiring, drilling. I'm going to lay out that red Jackson right there. Thank you, Billy Ray. That red Jackson I'm going to tape up and lay out to route for a Floyd, because I am a firm believer Floyd is my favorite. I got almost every guitar I have has one. Then there's people like, well, I like it decked like Eddie had it decked. That's fine if that's what you like, but to me, when you have it decked and you can't pull back, you can only dive, you're only using half a Floyd. Then people's like, well, when it's floating, I can't get it right. Well, if you get it set up right, then it's not an issue. And the way it's set up right, in playing position, it's perfect. If you hold it up this way with the strings pointing up, flat, it'll go sharp. If you turn it upside down, strings pointing down, it will go flat. When that happens, you play it playing position and it's perfect, you have it set up right. I've done a show with Laz where I walked him through. It ended up being like a 3-hour show. He ended up buying a Jackson Rhodes, and I walked him through it. Because initially he was going to send it to me and let me set it all up for him. I'm like, learn how to do it. So I'm going to show him how to, or I showed him how to do it. There's another guy, Alex Radford. I redid his guitar, frets on it, did a green splatter over top of the white, and put an EVH Floyd Rose on it. And he doesn't like messing with Floyd Rose, to the point where the strings that were on that guitar when he shipped it to me from California, the strings were rusted and corroded like you wouldn't believe, and they were on the guitar for over 4 years. And it had I don't even think it was a Floyd Rose special. It was like a no-name bridge on it. So I got it all set up, did the paint job, cleared it, got it all back to him. He loves it. But I'm going to do another Floyd Rose show with him on him. Obviously he's cross country from me, but he'll be on the screen with me, and we're going to go through it like I did with Laz and show him how to do it. But I do all that, let's see, blue, if I express the face up. Yeah. Yes, it does. Also, right where the knife edge is on the post, right there. Because literally, it's take a razor blade. I don't know if I have one here. Look at the edge of a razor blade. No, I don't have one here. And literally, that's all that Floyd Rose is balanced on those 2 points, about an edge of a razor blade. And the string tension and the spring tension is what keeps it. But if you get it set right, again, turn it this way, it'll go sharp. Turn it upside down, it goes flat. Pull it playing position, it's perfect. That's when it's set up correctly. And then you can put a block. You don't have to block it completely level. You can put an eraser or something behind it, block it, and take all the strings out and change them. And when you tune them back up, here's a mistake everybody makes. They'll start low E, then A, then D, then G. You'll chase it forever if you do that. Do your low E, your high E. then the B, then the A, then the G, then the D. And if it's set up right, it won't take you long to get it right back in position at all. But what I was saying, on the post, right where the knife edge is, I use Lucas Extreme Duty gun oil because it's the best I found so far. And I used it on all the gun stuff years ago too. And it pretty much stays where you put it, lasts a long time. It's blue, comes in a little bottle, or you can get the big bottle. Little bottles are about that big. You can get them off of Amazon or like Midway USA. But it's Lucas Extreme. I'll grab one and show you. Right here. Right where the knife edges ride the post, just put a little drop, barely, on that. So it helps lubricate the pivoting. That also helps with an eventual sticking issue. And then you can also put a little drop on the fine tuners at the base where they go in, run them down, run them back out. And when I put the block in, you don't want any oil on the block ever, and especially in the front of the block where it pushes against the string, because it'll slide out. But when you put the nut in to push the block in, put a little drop on the first few threads and a little drop on the tip of the bolt, so it goes into the block, and you can't beat that. I mean, it frees it up, won't let it lock up from rust. A lot of people sweat when they play, especially on stage. And then eventually what will happen is you can't get the block out if something happens to it because it's rusted. This stuff right here prevents that. So, yep, Lucas Extreme Duty Gun Oil. There you go. Well, pretty much focuses pretty fast too. So, well, to get back to the baritone, for those of you who are new, and those of you who are not new, heard these before, but since I can't go to the bench because of the microphone, I'll let you hear some of my recordings that I did that got finished within the last few months, if you want to hear that. All right, be good, Billy. If you guys are interested and want to hear something, like, I'll let you hear that one. I did 4 songs about serial killers, not because I want to be one. It's just they always interested me, like how they did it, why they did it, and how a lot of them got away with it. So if anybody's ever heard of H.H. Holmes, this was late 1800s, Chicago. He had built what they called the murder castle. He was a doctor who was a shyster and claiming over 200 people. He had this, was supposed to be a, quote, hotel with a pharmacy in the main floor, then a hotel, but it ended up being like a torture chamber, and it was usually women. It was right during the Chicago World's Fair, and they would go in, and he was built very confusing on purpose. He had a big safe in one room. He locked one lady in it and left her in there to die. Matter of fact, there were her footprints and claw marks on the inside. He had a crematorium basically in the basement. He had rooms that had a gas. So when he was falling asleep, he turned the gas on. He was, I don't understand why people want to do that. But regardless, I wrote a song about it. And I remember watching a special on him where it said he had the blueprint of the hotel. And what he would do is he would get a crew to start working on it. and nobody ever saw the finished blueprint. So, because he didn't want him to, because it didn't make sense. He knew what it was for, like ceiling or stairs that went into like nothing. He had rooms with chutes that went right down into the basement, and it was just weird. And so I put a song about it. I did 4. I did Jack the Ripper, Lizzie Borden, Ed Gein, and H.H. Holmes. I had a friend on here when I started playing these before say, hey, why don't you do one about Albert Fish? I'd never heard of Albert Fish before. So I started looking up on YouTube about Albert Fish, and there's no way I will ever put music. That guy was, look it up on your own, Albert Fish. So anyhow, I'll play those songs, a couple other ones, but this one's called The Devil's Blueprint, and it's about H.H. Holmes. On most of these, I'm playing rhythm on every one of them. Some of them I do the solos. Most of them I do the fills. Some of them I'm doing the drums here on a drum machine. Others, a real drummer. And for those of you who are new and don't know, I was in a band for years. A couple years ago, I had actually 2 heart attacks. Second one wasn't not really nothing. First one was. And everything here can be sold. And there's, I have my 2 kids, but I wanted to leave something that will be here forever, and that's music. And with my old band members and bands we toured with, or bands we opened for, or bands open for us, I've remained friends with them for years. We're talking 40 years. And because I can't play like I used to because of the stroke, and I've had 7 hand operations total. So I call these guys and I tell them, hey, I'm not doing this to, put the band back together. We're not doing it to make money, obviously. I just want to do it, and I want to do it with guys who I've shared the stage with for, 40 years ago. And every one, I have not had one person turn me down. We're talking, like maybe a total of 9 different bands members from my band and all the other bands, more than happy to come here and record. So we record here. I send everything raw over to get it mixed, and then I get it back. Deal is, my buddy is mixing it, is not charging me to mix it. So he does it on his own time. So I never know what I'm getting back or when or which order. And the deal is I get what I get. I can't listen to it and not like something and say, hey, can you, that's not it. But he did all the arrangement, all the producing of it, and enhancing like the drum sounds, and then, real drummer got that. But the background, there's like female background vocals. So anytime you hear female background vocals or keyboards, that was him doing it. I had nothing to do with that. But here's The Devil's Blueprint about H.H. Holmes. And again, that's that Chapman, what you're hearing basically. Up, down.
The walls could whisper tales so grim of hollow eyes and voices still.
Thank you.
Devil's blueprint in his hand, a twisted mind.
And that's our old singer, who is now 57 years old.
Lies like poison, cold as steel.
Is that better?
twisted mind, a deadly plan. No remorse, no light to save.
Thank you.
Just a shovel and a shallow grave.
And this is recorded on that, also that white Warrior.
The gas pipes hum a lullaby for souls who came but never left alive. A smile so sharp, a heart so black. The clock ticks on, no turning back. In shadows cast, where echoes take flight, his whispers low, where secrets ignite. In dreams we find, where truths unwind, paths untrod, where mysteries unfold. Shadows deep,
Thank you.
where legends breathe. In silence fast, where life doesn't last.
Now this was meant to sound like Confusion, because that's what the whole hotel was.
The devil's blueprint in his hand, a twisted mind, a deadly plan. Lying like poison, cold as steel. Heaven wept for those who kneel. Earth shook with the wicked's call. Fire danced if the dance bleed.
Mad.
Water cursed by sinners' tears. Air whispered with villain's breath.
I mean, you can't make a
Victims
happy song about a serial killer.
to a certain death. Oh.
So yeah, that is about H.H. Holmes. But here is songs that I have that I'm working on. I wrote every one of these and the lyrics, and that's what I'm working on with all these other people. Okay, so that was that one. Want to hear the one about Jack the Ripper next? Thank you, man. And I did have fun last night. Well, you know what? Let's break away from the serial killers. A lot of, well, I guess the women can imagine this too. 1984, before I met my wife, I had a one-night stand, and I looked for that girl for a long time, never even knew her name. So I started writing a song then about it, and never finished it until within the last couple years. So here it is. This is also on that White Warrior, and that has the Seymour Duncan slug in the bridge position, which is puts out 43 point some ohms. Then I actually have the dime bucker in the neck for that. So that's what you're going to hear on this one. And I did I'm everything on this but the drums and the vocals. But this is about a one night stand.
Midnight whispers on tangled sheets. Moonlight dances on a silhouette so sweet. Her perfume lingers like a stolen rhyme. A fleeting touch that defies time. She moves like smoke through my fingertips. Every glance a promise on her parted lips. No names exchanged in the candle's glow. Just two shells melting slow. Then the dawn comes creeping in, turning magic back to sin. Her dress slides on like midnight sun, leaving just the scent of where she's been. Oh, one night eternal in my veins, a ghost in the chains of morning rain. Every street light, every passing train, I'll chase your shadow
Then there's a dive.
through the pain. Now the city's full of echoes and lights. Every dark-haired girl catches my eyes. Beggars and kings all look the same when you're drowning in a missing name. Footsteps fade on the avenue, but none of them
Yeah, all done on this.
sound like you. The bartender pours another wound while the jukebox plays a forgotten tune. Oh, one night eternal in my veins, a ghost in the chains of morning rain. Every street loud, every passing train, I'll chase your shadow through
Now
the
this is
pain. One night eternal in my veins, a ghost in the chains of morning rain. Every street light, every passing train, I'll chase your shadow through the pain.
I spent about 6 months looking for her. Never found her. All right, so we'll go to the Jack the Ripper. I am on a actually I'm using a laptop, and it is a gaming laptop. Asus ASUS. Thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, no names. Couldn't find her after that. Here is the one about Jack the Ripper, which is the one it was the first one I got back from him after he mixed it. Lot of wind. My neighbor's siding blew off. Now that drum, believe it or not, is right here on this drum machine. After he mixed it in and added depth to it. It's
In the shadows of old Whitechapel streets, where the air hangs heavy with deceit, there walks a figure, a specter of the night, Jack the Ripper, with a thirst for blood.
It's funny because when I played these for Laz, he was more concerned about why I was writing about serial killers.
With your blade so keen and sinister,
Hey, John.
you haunt the alleys with your dreadful spree, leaving terror and darkness in your wake. We plead under the moon's eerie glow. It crowds, sowing fear with each victim he fells. A phantom with no face, no remorse.
Yeah, it was funny. I thought it was great.
Leaving behind a trail of
When I did the solos for this, I was thinking David Gilmour. I went through the less is more thought process on this. But you can tell in the from 84 to 94, I did the more heavier stuff, like Metallica. It was like the one article said Metallica meets Alice Cooper, and as I get older, my Black Sabbath influence, the dark bluesy, is coming out, which is what a lot of this is now.
Who is this fiend, this devil in disguise? With each passing night, more innocence dies. The authorities chase shadows in vain, as Jack the Ripper eludes
Here's my ESP.
Pause and close your eyesight. For Jack the Ripper roams the night. In the shadows he waits.
Here he is when he was early 20s, who you're listening to right now, circled here on the end.
A nightmare haunting
Well.
London's ground.
He's right there on the end circled. He was probably 21 there. Now he's 57. I'm sitting down with the hat the opposite way. This was 1989 or 90. It was a promo shot for our Southwestern tour. So anyhow, that was Jack the Ripper. Anybody who's been on the road for a long amount of time, especially if you have, a girlfriend or even a family, you pay a price for that. One night we were doing a show with my son's band as the guest, and okay, RJ, and I'd always said, for the first 18 months, 2 years, I missed a lot of the first things with him because I was on the road. He's like, no, Dad, it was almost 4 years. So it was even worse than I thought. So even back then, I started writing this song probably in 1991, and I finished it like 2 years ago. And we recorded it, and it's called The Road of Fire and Tears. Now, for some reason, the first vocals, it's actually the stage lights shine like 1,000 suns or 1,000,000 suns, but it sounds like he says daylight, but it's actually stage lights. But this is it. One of the other guys from one of the other bands actually stepped in and did the solo for me because there's days where I can hardly play and days I can play. Cool Mad Hatter, looking forward to it. Really. So this is that song. It's about being on the road and what it cost you for doing this. So I'm all the guitars but the solo. This is a real drummer, and Dave's on the bass. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Wait a minute. Right here. So it's the stage lights. The stage lights shine like 1,000 suns, but it sounds like he says daylight.
The stage lights burn like 1,000 suns. Guitar screams loud, but the heart weighs a ton. Leather and chains, but the soul feels bare. Another town lost in a highway's glare. The crowd roars wild, but the silence remains in every hotel. In the echoes of pain,
Letters unread, photographs fade.
photographs fade. Promises broken, the price that we pay. Oh, this road of fire and tears, where the music drowns out all the fears, but the echoes of love still call my name through the smoke and the flames.
That's the bass player you're hearing right now. This is 1987.
The voice is weak, but the fire inside still begs to speak.
This is our drummer. We were opening up for the Fabulous Thunderbirds here. That was at a football stadium, college stadium.
This road of fire and tears, where the music drowns out all the fears, but the echoes of love still call my name through the smoke and the flame. Oh, this road of fire and tears, where the glory can hide all
That was the inside the CD. I'm up here, very top. Yes, Lewis, Jimmy, yep. This was at practice. Me and this guy, this bass player, he was here not too long ago, and that was 1990, and this was him and I together again in 2025. Big change. So he come over, he was sitting, he recorded some. Okay. All right, here's the one about Lizzie Borden, believe it or not. Hold on. Lizzie Borden and Ed Gein one, I tried to play a little bit different. I didn't want them to blend in with the other two, the heavier ones. So this is like something completely different I'd ever done. Puppy, I got your email. Thank you. I will get on that. Let me know when. Sunday, okay.
Fall river morning in the August heat, the white clapboard house stands on 2nd Street. A father's boots by the cellar door, stepmother's prayers on the parlor floor. No screams heard, no weapon was found, just silence thick as the burial ground. They say the house was locked up tight, they say she moved with a ghostly flight. Her alibi was thin as candle flame, but with every whisper they spoke her name. Lizzie took an axe, so the
40 wax.
children say,
Now that's, I don't know who the background singers are.
the truth wore black, but her legend still grew. All bloodless lies, but the world swore true. Was it innocent hands or a killer's grin? The tale cuts deep, but the facts grew thin. Andrew Borden counted his coins. He was cold as iron, hard as steel. A daughter trapped in Sunday silence, a lifetime chained to his iron will. The maid in the kitchen, time seemed so strange.
Thank you, Mad.
History loves a deadly game, and she didn't swing. Who did that day?
I think her Uncle John did it.
Silent swings in darker ways. She lived 2 years wearing mourning black, no smiles captured in the photographs. Neighbors crossed the street in prayer as if the crime still lingered there. Her verdict read, but never
Thank you, Zach. That's
believed her life was acquitted, but her soul
I used those 2
never
Ingles for all these. Mic'd up through the Mesa oversized rectifiers.
A simple rhyme for a complicated deed. Truth went quiet, the song stayed loud. One woman buried by an angry crowd. Say her name, hear history bend. The axe was real, but the myth was planned. 2 left dead, 1 walked away.
So that was the Lizzie Borden one. Hey, Ed. Sorry, I keep looking that way because the chat's on this screen, the camera's here. So that was the Lizzie Borden one, and I did the Ed Gein one because of the Netflix thing, and you know, but I was trying to not make it sound so, I don't know, gross, maybe. Like, I mean, we all know that he made lampshades out of human skin, but I didn't want to say that. So it's like lampshades with a human glow. So I did that. I did it that kind of thing. So here's the one on Ed Gein. And it's, again, it's more like the Lizzie Borden one. It's completely different than the H.H. Holmes and the Jack the Ripper.
Back road, Wisconsin, frost on the ground, a quiet little farmhouse, no screams, no sound. Mama's words still screaming in his brain, a lonely boy playing through the pain. Graveyard shift under harvest moon, his shovel sings a hymnal tune. Didn't kill like the stories say, he stole from the dead, then he walked away. Newspapers hungry, ink runs red, truth gets thinner with every word said. They say he wore the skin of the damned, built a throne from bone and hand, face of fear, a butcher's grin, but the devil lives in what we print. Say his name, watch it so. Truth rots slow, but legends explode in plain field. The shadows grim. Half of it lies, half lives in him. Lampshades lit with a human glow. Belts that once had names, you know. Master faces, frozen screams, a man hiding inside a sick room. Mother dead, but she's never gone. Her voice still pulling the curtains drawn. Not a king of blood and war, just a mind that snapped before. True woman killed, the rest on earth. The lie gets louder as the legends burn. They say he danced in a house of skin, drank the dark, let the madness in, carved his sins in candlelight, but sin sells better in the night. Say his name, watch it so. Truth pops slow, but legends explode in plain field. The shadows grim. Half of it lies, half lives in him. Not a genius, the flame. Who's the monster, him or us? Who sharpened every myth spun? Shovel skin, sin and bone. Lonely man in his borrowed home. Grave dirt press his mother's face. A human tragedy.
Actually, there was guitar there. He took it out and added the clapping. We didn't do the clapping.
Truth wears rags, legend wears a crown. Truth stays bloody, but his legends yelled. Say his name, feel it crawl. Fear needs icons, not the small. In plain field, under snow and rain. A sick man lived, and we made his name. Candles out. The story stays, truth in shadow, myth in flames.
All right, so that was the one on Ed Gein. Ed, these are songs that I've been working on, some of them for years. Yeah, when he did the mixing like that, we never had claps in it, you know, no clapping at all. And when I heard it, I was like, what? He's like, I thought it would fit better. So he just backed the guitars out, and then I guess whoever he has, the girls that sing the background, did the clapping, and he put it in there, which I think it did add to the effect, but I never thought about it at all. But yeah, anytime you hear female voices or keyboards, that was him doing it at his mixing studio. We just did everything else here. I got one more for you for now. That's all I got on here. I'm loading up. I load them from the computer to the Rodecaster. This is the last one I got from him. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. There's still like maybe two more that's coming. I just don't know when, because he does them on his free time. So, but yeah, here's this one. This one, I was thinking about my dad passed away last year, then Ozzy passing away, and then I saw his video that I Don't Want to Die an Ordinary Man. And I got to thinking, like I said earlier, you know, all this stuff goes to the kids, but it can all be sold, you know, as far as that goes. I don't think they would, but they, you know, it could be. All this stuff, you know, and I would want to do something lasting, and I didn't want to say I don't want to die an ordinary man, but I just didn't want to die alone without leaving something, because there's a poem or saying, and I've always followed, it's like, it would be a shame to die without winning some battle for humanity. So with Ozzy's video and song in my head, that saying in my head, then Ozzy passing, my father passing, and me having the 2 heart attacks, that's where this came from. And it's, I don't know how long it is. Probably 4 minutes, but it's called Alone in the Echo. And so, thank you, Zach. And my dad would have turned 84 February 27th. So here, all that in mind, that's what this is about. And there was one show we did on a Saturday night where he wrote a song with Gemini. And he was having people in the chat put in words or sayings for the words of the song. And I put in there, I don't want to fade away like a vapor in the night, or vapor in the sky, which is one of the lines from this song. That was, whatever day that was the day I got this back. So this is it. It's called Alone in the Echo. keyboard. That wasn't us.
The dust settles on a worn-out wooden floor. The shadow of a man behind a locked door. I watch the seasons change through a cracked pane, counting every drop of the cold winter rain. There is a hollow sound in the empty hall, waiting for a voice or that phantom's call. I buried my secrets in the backyard dirt, tried to hide away all that hurts. The clock on the wall has no sound, looking for the melodies I never found. My boots are covered in the miles of the past, wandering along the quiet breath will last. The ink is trying on a page with no name, the months are circling the dying flame. I see the finish line drawn in the sand, holding on to nothing with a trembling hand. I do not want to go where the silence.
And here's the vapor part.
Leaving not a trace of my struggle.
Hold on.
Or my soul.
Right here.
I do not want to fade like a vapor in the sky. No one there to witness my last goodbye. Any reason or a better lift to fly. I don't want
The girl singers, I have no idea who they are.
auto fill in my eyes. I met a traveler on the road to the west. He had a silver medal pinned to his chest. He told me that the glory was a bitter pill to swallow, and the heart inside is jagged and it's hollow. He had 1,000 stories, but no one left to hear, trading all his triumphs for a single human tear. The prophets in the street are howling at the moon, singing frantic and disconnected tune. They talk of heavy burdens, the price of being free, but none of them can offer clarity to me. I am looking for a spark in the middle of the night, something more than shadows dancing in pale light.
I like how he added the girls in the background on all the chorus and everything,
The
but
ink is drying on a stage with no dame. The monster circling the dying flame. I see the finish line
Coming up.
drawn in the sand, holding on to nothing with a trembling hand. I do not want to go where the silence takes its toll, leaving not a trace of my struggle or my soul. I do not
somewhere he gets real high and the girl matches him, which is kind of neat, both of them doing it.
with no one there to witness my last goodbye. My last goodbye. Give me a reason or a battle left to find. I don't want to
Right here.
a hollow film in my eyes. I do not want to go where the silence takes its toll, leaving not a trace of my struggle or my soul. I do not want to fade like a vapor in the sky, with no one there to witness my last goodbye.
So that's my version of I Don't Want to Die an Ordinary Man, basically. But the vapor, fade like a vapor in the sky, is, I had a couple candles here that I had lit. Seriously, because I blew the candle out and I watched the smoke go up and just disappear. And that's where that line came from. Vapor, fade away like vapor in the sky. Because it's gone, no trace of it, anything. Mad Hatter, that was H.H. Holmes. I can't remember what his real name was, Herman Mudgett. But he was a doctor. Peggy, I don't know. I hope so. I hope someday they realize that. So I do apologize, everybody, that wasn't the bench tonight. I'll have to figure out what happened to that microphone over there because it would really sound bad if I just turned this one on and tried to aim it and shoot 10 feet away trying to hear me scream so you could hear me. So I didn't want to do that. Well, you know, Jim, I've had people tell me this when I was younger, but you know, when you're young and dumb, you think you're going to last forever, like the weightlifting. I'm paying for that now because I did not do it the proper way. When I was teens through my 20s, it didn't bother me. You know, work every day, work next day, go right back to the arms. You know, arms was every day until I literally couldn't move them anymore. Didn't bother me then. Late 40s, especially in the 50s, it started getting and paying for it. So now I've had 3 operations on this shoulder and a big scar right here. You can actually feel it. 2 on this shoulder. I've had 7 operations on my hands, which is why I can't play like I used to play. Both my knees need completely replaced. Had one repaired before, but now it needs replaced. I've already had back surgery, the scar at my back about that long, and now I have to have another one. And it all stems from weightlifting, not doing it the proper way, football, college football, and then bodybuilding. So it, you know, like if you, what would I do with the phone? I had quit lifting by this time. See if I can find the photos. These are like in the studio photos. I don't see it here. Well, you can kind of, I had a 63-inch chest and a 36-inch waist. You can kind of see the V if you look. But, you know, even then, I didn't care. It didn't bother me. But I always had people say, oh, you'll pay for this when you get older. And I just laugh because you don't think about getting older, you know, when you're that young. And it didn't bother me. And now I am paying for it. So it sucks. So anybody who is lifting, I don't care if it's bodybuilding or just working out at you know, whatever 24-hour fitness thing, there's a reason why they have a certain way they do it. Don't ignore it. Because what I would just like get into a trance and just go and go and go, and I couldn't do it no more. I mean, I was actually curling 10 sets of, or 3 sets of 10 with 250 pounds. I was bench pressing over 500. And I just did it till I couldn't do it no more. Come home, shower, rest, eat, go to work next day after work, go back and do the same thing again till I couldn't do it anymore. But, and then, you know, and it never bothered me for years. And I kept thinking, oh, they told me it was going to bother me. You know, I figured 35, I was older, it would be hurting. It wasn't hurting. And it's like, now I pay for it. You know, if I went to NAMM right now, I could not walk around NAMM. I would have to get a cart and ride around. I could not walk that distance. So this year I'm looking at both knees being completely replaced. Although I will get 2 inches of my height back because I've lost 3 inches of height between my back and my knees. I was 6'3". But they said they can give me 2 inches back with the knees extended, I guess extended knees. But so we're going to get that done. Then I'm going to have the back operated on yet again. And hopefully I'll be able to walk without pain and walk a great distance, because I can't do either right now. And sometimes it's really bad. You can ask my kids. If I ever have Cole on here, my son, you can ask him. When I go up the steps from down here upstairs, most of the time, not every time, but most of the time, I go up like an animal on all fours. That way it doesn't hurt that bad. So, but yeah, just when you go, be careful. Yeah, Herman Webster Mudgett. Yeah, that was his real name. Then he changed it to H. H. Holmes. Um, yeah, but there's no way I'll ever do any type of music for Albert Fish. And I had never even heard of him before until my buddy. So when I need to do one about him, I'm like, who's that? I've never heard of him. And I could see why you didn't hear about him that much, because that guy was, I mean, granted, H. Holmes and Ed Gein weren't, your Sunday school, but this guy was like, he made them look bad. He made Ed Gein and H. Holmes look like nothing. Dwight, hello, Dwight. The golden years, yeah. Mine's rusted. Actually, I'm going to, I figured since I'm not doing the other shows now, I'm going to do obviously the bench shows because that's what I love doing, and we would be there right now had the camera or had the other microphone not quit working, but I also want to interview other guitar channels on here. And like I've said before, we all go to the store, but there's many ways to get to that same store. It's like there's many ways to get the same result on a guitar. I'm not the greatest of the world by far, so I know other people do it other ways, and I thought it would be kind of interesting to have my way and somebody else's way on here on screen, where you guys can ask questions to both, that kind of stuff. And then I thought about, and I was always told, don't say it before you do it because someone will steal it. Well, if they do, whatever, it's documented. I said it here. I want to do a talk show, I guess, called Rusty Metal. Talk about metal music that's 40 years and older. How's that sound? Obviously, we can't play it, but we can sit and talk about it. If you guys think that's a good idea, but that'd be the name of it, Rusty Metal. Hitman. So, I just figured, I mean, I got all the time in the world, got all this stuff now to do it. So I would say, just do it. I signed up for this EV Mux, whatever it is. So I'm not limited now. I can do unlimited streams. So I might as well do it and have some fun. Well, 40 years was only 1986. So even if you said 30 years, you're still 1996. Hey, Laz. 40 years does not compute. Yeah. Well, but I thought that'd be an interesting thing. And have got people in the chat, you guys in the chat, on the show, and we'll talk about your favorite band, or what made you like that favorite band, or your favorite band that got you into playing whatever instrument you play, guitar, bass, drums, whatever. So I figured we could do that. That would be a show for a night. Probably do that on Fridays or Saturday, whatever. So, like I said, I want to do it, and I want to involve everyone in the chat in some shape or form. So, Laz just got home. Is that what you said? So your show's in 24 minutes. So I mean that's the future plans, and I do want to involve chat, but more than just talking in the chat. I'll put you on the show. You know, that's not an issue. Because you guys all make it fun, and you know, this last 3 years has been great. Made a lot of friends, a lot of real good friends, made a bunch of new friends, and you know, this is what I'm about. You know, mostly this will be a guitar work show, but then I can do, you know, the rusty metal and whatever, that kind of thing. And as my songs come back, do a listening party show, I guess. I don't know what they're called. Again, I don't know. I'm learning this as I go. So thank you, Peggy. So yeah, I want to get everybody involved in some way, shape, or form. But I do want to start talking, having them on the show, other guitar repair techs or cool luthiers or whatever, and we compare notes. You guys get to ask all the questions you want, and it'd be a perfect time. Who, me? Are you asking me, Blue? I used to be 6'3", now I'm 6 foot. And when I did the bodybuilding, I was 265. 6'3", 265. But I did start the, I can't think of the name of it. The carnivore diet just this week. Mad, you bring that up all the time. How many people can say they took Norm and Batman to a strip club? Me. Norm from Cheers and Michael Keaton, the first movie Batman and the best movie Batman. There you go, Lewis. So yeah, it was fun. Done a lot in well, I'll be 61 at the end of this month. So I've done a lot in 61 years. You know, a lot of times I meet people like, well, when I was younger, so, I was in a movie, in a band, we signed, we toured, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, right. And you start pulling out pictures and showing them. So I think I'm the only person that could say I took Norm from Cheers and Michael Keaton to a strip club. I think I am the only person in the world that can say that. So yeah, it was and it was funny because when we walked in the club, everybody, because everybody kind of turned when anybody walked in. So when we walked in, they saw him and everybody, well, pretty much everybody. It sounded like everybody anyhow, but all you heard was, Norm! Because Cheers was very popular at that time. So it was funny. And they weren't putting dollars or fives or tens. They were putting 50s and hundreds. So it was fun. I think we were there for probably 3 hours, maybe, somewhere around there. So it was an experience. Then playing Jakey Lee's Charvel with his band on stage was okay. Strike me dead right there, because that was it. I'm just mad. When I was in California in 77, my cousin snuck me in to see Van Halen at the Whiskey. I think it was the Whiskey or the Rainbow, one of the two. And it was in June of 77. And I didn't see the whole thing. She got me in. I don't want to know how she got me in, but she got me in. And I saw like the last 4, maybe 5 songs of Van Halen then. But what makes me mad is Randy Rhoads played that night with Quiet Riot, and I didn't see him. I wish I would have. That's good, Rack Ron. That's why I'm doing the carnivore diet right now. Yeah, Peggy, I do have a lot of good memories, and I hope to God I keep them till the very end. So, and that's one reason why I enjoy working on the guitars too, because it keeps you focused, thinking, especially when Laz buys these super switches that got 48 or 28 contact points on them. Cool. Way to go. Awesome guitar. Yeah. Cool. Hey, Rocky. So yeah, it's interesting. I love it. Again, I apologize for the microphone not working tonight. I don't know why that happened. I'll have to figure that out after Laz's show, and then have it fixed for. And I might do something Saturday. Also, like I said, now I got unlimited streams on here now, anytime. So I'm not doing anything else. I might as well do this. I like doing it anyhow. So with that, thank you, Rackron. Yeah, like I said, I think there's 76 total that are completed, almost completed, and about halfway. So there's 76 total. And matter of fact, the one bass player that was in the photo with me and him standing in front of the gold and platinum records, he's supposed to come here the end of the month. And I never thought about that. If he comes here the end of the month, I can do a show and have him here. I can move it over here at the mic and have him do it, and you can ask questions and have some fun. He's a Southern boy. He's 6'8". Yeah, he's 6'8", size 18 shoe. His idol was always Blackie Lawless. Blackie Lawless and Nikki Sixx. He's never wanted to play guitar. He always wanted to be a bass player. So Well, Michael, before you couldn't see the detail you can now in the back, because I've had people say, "Are those Englewood?" What they couldn't figure out, and the crackles didn't look as defined as they do now. It just like looked like a smeared mess. So it's happened. It helped that a lot. So I'm still learning and working things out on here, but I'm trying to get it going. I'm trying to get it going. Yeah, it's much better. Literally, because those guitars look like they just had black smeared on them in the background before. But now I can switch. I did add the other cam. Hold on. Oh, I mean, here's the bench cam. No bench on it right now, or nothing on it. And then here is the other cam, shows a different angle of this room. Actually, you see the wall. You'll get to see the wall now that you never got to see before. Right there. And this right here that's a decibel meter right next to me. So Laz's show is supposedly scheduled for 13 minutes from now or 12 minutes from now. So with that, I thank every one of you for coming and hanging out. I appreciate the new subs. Again, I apologize I didn't get to do the bench because of the microphone, but I will take care of that. So the next bench will be bench, because I do have a couple more I have to work on still, including the lap steel guitar. I tore that apart on one of these shows a couple months ago, and if you go back and watch it, you'll see cleaned the pots and one of them froze up. So I put a different pot in it, but the way that pickup is configured, it doesn't look like it's wired right, although it used to work. So I can't get it working. So I may have to put just a regular pickup in it. So either it's hanging right here in front of me. I got it hanging on the wall here. So I have that. I have a couple T strats, and I'm going to tape up that red Jackson and mark it off for a Floyd Rose router, which I should be able to film the routing out process of it out in the garage. I'll just have to have the volume off because all you'll hear is the router screaming in your ears. And then when I get the paint booth set up, with the way the fan will be taking out the overspray, I can put a camera out there. Now I was always afraid to do it before for fear of overspray getting on the phone or the camera, because I ruined one pair of glasses doing that. So with that, he'll be starting late. 10:30. Okay. So 36 minutes from now. Yeah. So, there's big things planned. And like I said, you guys are in basically on the ground floor, and you get to grow with me and with the channel, and get you guys in on the channel, not just in the chat. I mean, introduce yourself, say hi to everybody. We get it all figured out. I'm going to build a guitar from scratch also. I'll cut out the body, do all the routing on it. I don't do the CNC router, so it'll all be by hand. I have fretboard or necks I need to refret completely. I'll do all that here at the bench on the show. I know Barry or Rich was kind of looking forward to that because he said he never got into removing frets and putting new frets in, then dressing them down and getting them all level. So he was interested in that. So that's the kind of stuff I'm going to be doing now that I can do it, because I don't have the time constraint and half a screen. So it'll just be you'll see the whole thing the whole way. So. Oh, come on, Rocky. Hey, yo. Adrian. So again, thank you everybody for coming by, hanging out, and I will see you on the next one. I'll probably do something. I'm going to say this Saturday. I don't know what time, but I finally figured out how to do it where I can put it on the YouTube channel that it's coming up on this. I didn't get to do it. I figured it out after I got this one started. So I'll be able to take care of that and do it so you guys will know ahead of time. And I'll have the mic fixed, or I'll have a different mic. I'll have one way or the other will be at the chat or at the bench. So with that, thank you everybody. Like Dio would say, you're all the biggest stars in the world. And as all you would say, oh, I love you. Oh, Jen. So with that, good night, everybody. But before, I'll do my intro as the outro.